Hello and welcome to Last Time On. This is the podcast for people who want to watch all this prestige television, but who's got time for it?
I know I don't.
Y'all been touching Pete's podcast? Nobody touches Pete's podcast.
Holy shit, who is that just moseyed on into town?
It's Bullwhip Ben.
Bullwhip Ben has returned.
Ben is back.
Yay.
Hi, Ben.
I'm so glad to be here, guys.
We got
this.
We got the whole posse back. We got Bullwhip Ben, Cactus Vic, and fucking Mitch McConnell, JD, whatever the hell his name is this week.
I gave up on that bit. Last week's killed me.
It's
so.
Bushwhacker Bush or something. I don't know.
Bushwhacker Bush.
Bushmaster Bushwhack. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Hey, welcome back to Last Time On, everyone.
Hey, guys. I'm so glad to be back. I can't tell you how much it has pained me to listen to you guys talk about a show I love and not to be here. I understand how the listeners feel so intrinsically now. So I understand how Laura felt while we were going through Shameless.
Right.
That'll teach you to watch good television, Ben.
I was
Never again.
I was looking at the run times of the past 3 episodes that we did, and they're all under 1 hour. And I was thinking, man, without Ben here to keep us on topic, the podcast just going to go crazy. But then me and Jafar alone just managed to keep it concise. Ben is pulling the hair out of his beard right now.
Well, and there was a few bits where I'm just because it's a special hell listening to a podcast you usually co-host and having a joke or a thing to insert and not being able to, where it's it's not even keeping you guys on task. It's I could make a yuck here. I can't. Or today, listening to the episode that just came out, and when you, Vic, are just do you know Lockdown? And Jafar's no. And I'm Lockdown's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, you know Lockdown. Awesome,
I love
dude.
Lockdown.
That's one of my favorite bad movies.
Who sent you?
Your old man did.
My dad. What did he say?
Well, I didn't get to meet him personally. He kind of delegated your rescue. He had a big conference on the corn surplus.
You're kidding me.
No, apparently we should all be eating more corn.
The best part about Lockdown is, I believe
Lockout.
Lockout. There are 3 lines that are not sarcastic delivered by the lead character.
By Guy Pearce?
By Guy Pearce. Almost every single line, except for 3 at the very end.
Oh yeah, he's He
is delivering them with a action hero, I'm throwing this off or I don't care. And
he is so over the top.
I firmly believe this was a writing choice by the screenwriter. Hey, we love when John McClane is flippantly throwing something off in Die Hard. What if he's, come out to the coast, we'll have a few laughs. For every single
for the whole time.
Line.
Yes.
He is not serious for 98% of the film. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing. And if John Carpenter hadn't sued it, we would have gotten Lockout 2.
What, really?
Oh, yeah, he sued it because it was too close to the idea for Escape from Mars.
Yeah, it pretty much was Escape
but
from
he's never going to make
New York
Escape from Mars. So, you don't own the rights to, hey, a president or president's daughter is trapped somewhere.
Yeah. It was pretty much Escape from New York in space was all it was.
Escape from L.A. was also Escape from New York, but in L.A. and worse.
Right.
Yeah, but he made that, so he's allowed to. It's not a ripoff when it's you doing a sequel.
Tell that to the new version of The Killer. I guess none of you have seen the new John Woo film. That's a
on
remake.
it's on my list, but I got it confused with the movie called The Killer that just came out recently, starring
Natalie Emanuel.
No, there's another one on Netflix starring David from Alien Covenant, Fassbender.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's a completely different film, but I really liked it. It was really good.
but no, John Woo just remade one of his amazing films, and it's okay.
That's a bummer. I mean, to be fair, Escape from
foul.
LA was also an okay version of Escape from New York,
Yes.
which is superior in every regard.
Yeah, well, it had Rob Zombie, so I was, or I think it was actually still White Zombie back then.
Well, that was the band. He was still Rob Zombie.
So
Yeah, I know
he
it
was in
still
the band
Rob Zombie,
White.
but I think it
Victor-
was still
Well, no. I'm saying is the stage persona was always Rob Zombie. White Zombie was the name of the collected band.
Yeah, I know
And
how
Rob Zombie
okay.
was his solo.
Okay,
So, Victor,
So he was still
I need to
Rob
get
Zombie.
into this. This is an embarrassing story, mostly for me, but also including
I think.
Jafar.
Oh, I love those.
So many years ago now, we were at a friend of ours' sister's house. And it was the sort of thing where it's like, we are in a car together, and he's like, hey, we got to stop off at my sister's house. This'll take a few minutes. And we ended up stuck there for hours and hours because the friend whose sister's it was wouldn't be like, all right, we're done with what we're here for. And because he drove, we were trapped there. I don't know if you've ever been in a similar situation.
Yeah.
And we watched the back, I think 2/3 of Old Yeller.
It was not Old Yeller.
Was it Where the Red Fern Grows?
It was where the
that
Red
one's
Fern
worse.
grows.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember my dead dog movies.
Yeah.
And we're just like, this is rough, but it's not our house. None of us can change the channel. We've already installed the security cameras we stopped here to install. I don't know why we haven't left yet. And the sister's boyfriend was like, hey, now that we've finished watching Where the Red Fern Grows, I know what you guys actually would like to watch while you're here. And it's like, actually, we would all like to go. But he threw on, was it,
House of a Thousand.
I thought it was
Corpses.
Devil's Rejects.
wow.
It might have been Devil's Rejects.
It was, I believe it was Devil's Rejects. The one that starts with like a giant shootout at an abandoned house with a bunch of clowns, which I have a sinking feeling covers 97% of Rob Zombie's oeuvre. But it was the most excruciating 25 minutes before we were finally able to convince our friend Jay, we have to go. None of us like this movie. None of us are we don't. None of us want to be here. We'd all rather be asleep by now. Can we please go? And shortly, 2 weeks after, we end up at a different friend's house down from Michigan to Georgia. We end up in Georgia. I'm relaying this story about how, God, this guy was just not reading the room and put on the worst movie I'd ever seen, The Devil's Rejects. And it was just awful and not interesting and just terrible in every way. Without noticing, the friend we are now in the living room of, who we have traveled thousands of miles to see, has several Rob Zombie posters on the wall and in-box action figures.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just insulting. It was just garbage and tasteless crap, and I hated every second. It was I wanted to rip my eyes out rather than watch another second of anything Rob Zombie has ever produced. And our friend is just oh, okay. And I'm like, oh no. I saw the posters, and I'm like, I've made a huge mistake.
Well, I think it's more of an egregious sin to make people watch Where the Red Fern Grows. I mean, that is high on my list of movies I saw as a kid that fucking traumatized me. You should not show that movie to kids, for Christ's sakes, dude. Like, I've got a big list of 80s movies that were for kids that are some sick fucks, like, must have made these.
Oh, for sure.
Watership Down. Yeah, that'll be a topic for another podcast sometime. Good Lord.
We'll talk about
being
Watership
an adult now.
We'll talk about Watership Down as the movie break to when I make you guys read all the Redwall books.
We won't be reading all of them, Ben. We'll be reading one, rolling some dice, and then reading a different one.
Oh, I figured we'd read each one chapter, skip chapter. But
Ooh, that might be more fun.
That would be fun,
so hard.
Bold of you to assume I can read. My Texas public education over here.
That sign can't stop me because I can't read.
All right, so we are here to talk about Brisco.
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed going totally off topic with you here, Ben, and having you just get flustered and finally say, "Guys, we are 20 minutes into this podcast and 2 minutes into the episode." I missed that shit, but I'm trying to be better about it because I know you got full-time job and a kid, so like that's.
So, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you guys, for as beloved a cult film cult show as this is, even the Brisco County Junior website, or Wikia, does not have plot synopses of every episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's to the point where I'm like, I realized this a few days ago, and I'm like, I don't have enough time to watch each episode and write a synopsis for the Wiki because I want to. I'm going to do my best.
Yeah,
but
are you going to go back and fill out the Wikia?
I feel like I should. I feel like I deserve that to the universe because it's such a fun show.
I went through and looked over the TV tropes page for Brisco County Junior just to look up some of our specific predictions. Yeah, that was fun.
Well, I can.
Speaking of which, do we want to start with our predictions and then we can reveal? Because one of us is going to win, and one of us is going to pick the next show at the end of this episode.
I can reveal a big one right now, and it's made me laugh every time I've heard it's brought up. So Jafar brought up aliens.
Yeah. You know what? Save it. Let's go through.
I'm going to bring it up right now.
Okay, fine.
Get fucked, motherfucker! It's time travel. If anybody had guessed that Bly is secretly from the future, and there's several episodes deeply about time travel.
What?
Yes. Yes, William Bly. It's William, right?
I think
I
so.
forget.
Yeah.
Billy
Bly.
Bly.
No,
Yeah.
it's Billy Drago.
Well, Billy Drago is
John
the actor.
Bly.
John Bly. John Bly is
Bly,
secretly from the 26th century, and he's gone back to get a thing so that he can go and take the 26th century over, but then somebody from the 52nd century comes back to stop him from taking over the 26th century in our Western TV show.
That's so absurd. I love it.
I love
That
it,
is so
and I
Bruce
also
Campbell.
really understand why this show didn't get a second season.
The thing was it was the orb, wasn't it? The UFO.
Yes. The orb is not from space; it's from the future.
Please tell me it flies at some point.
Nope, it's just.
Oh.
But I can tell you, the orb represents faith
Of the heart.
and what? No, not of the heart. Pause for a drop.
It's been a long.
No, but the orb becomes what you want the orb to be.
Okay.
So it's like
somebody,
a magic lamp type thing. It
yeah.
gives it
So
a
somebody
grant
who's evil, like Bly, it manifests evil. For somebody like the indentured slave labor from the pilot episode, it gives them the power
That's
of
why it gives them freedom. Okay.
And for somebody pure of heart like Brisco, it allows them to defeat Bly.
Ah, so that's how Bly was eventually defeated then?
Yeah,
was
he
through the power
stabs
of the
him
orb?
with one of the rods, and he turns into a pile of ash.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's also, I guess that's also why in the pilot, it was the pilot episode that one of the robber barons had a Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark style death where he melted from the power of the orb.
That is it exactly. All right,
Excellent.
so I will tell you guys, you can go through your predictions. I'm going to do my best to remember. If I forgot anything, I am sorry.
Well, most of them we made so that they're things that we could confirm on screen. Victor's prediction number 1 from first episode is a fail, because I specifically said that this is something we would see on screen. Not once does Brisco ever fire his 6-shooter rapid fire style, which is also interesting because right now I had a YouTube video going on the screen, which apparently was released 3 hours ago. This just uploaded today, titled Brisco County, the most violent show ever? Question mark, something like that. I'll drop a link in the Discord, but yeah, I'm going to watch this
It's
after
decidedly
recording.
not.
Yeah, apparently there was some controversy at the time when it aired. At least that's what it looks like, about critics saying the show is too violent. I'm like, Brisco never shot anyone, man. Come on.
Well, and I will say, as somebody who loves 90s adventure shows, another show that is near and dear to my heart is the 1990s The Magnificent Seven TV show.
Oh, wow, I didn't know they...
Oh,
They had a
2
TV show
seasons.
of that, yeah.
It's actually great. Ron Perlman is one of the main characters, along with the main character is Michael Biehn from like
Hicks.
Aliens and Terminator, and famously Johnny Ringo from Tombstone. And so it's actually a great show. It is
Yeah,
criminal
holy
that it
crap.
got canceled.
Oh,
They
it's
killed-
on the Roku channel for free. Ha ha ha.
Well, I've got
That's
it all
amazing.
on DVD. So digital video Dave has me saved.
Digital videotape.
That's what DVD stands for.
course
Everything's
it does.
made by Dave.
Gotta
But-
love Dave.
In The Magnificent Seven, which is on around the same time, they kill like dozens of people each episode. They're huge gunfights, and like Brisco barely shoots anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I said. He's very much a Gary Stu. He's way too good. Never. Anyway, okay. So back to the predictions. Okay, so my round 1. So he never shoots a 6-shooter rapid style.
One of the points I was going to make. One, in Magnificent Seven, they kill a lot more people. They also have an episode where a character is explicitly told, never fan your gun because you can't control it, and the guy does it anyway and accidentally shoots a bystander, and that's like a part
Yeah.
of the episode.
Nice. Okay, so I missed that point, but we did see Brisco lasso a guy off of a horse. So that's 2 points
Absolutely.
for me. Plus an additional 3 points for the dramatic villain saloon entrance that we got in the first episode. So that's 5 points for Victor for the first episode. Let's go over to Jafar. Jafar,
Is that the
So he-
pre-picks?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, he uses the pre-picks, yeah.
The pre-picks,
Jaf-
I had Brisco County Senior shows up,
Yep.
check. I had
Even though he's
Trains,
dead.
check. And then I had Aliens, so I get 3 out of 5 for that one.
That's correct.
So 3.
Or 3 out of 6, sorry.
Yeah. On to round 2. I predicted that we get steampunk inventions. We got so many of those.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah. We got a Star Trek cameo. Admiral Paris
okay.
saves the day again.
I don't know if Admiral Paris counts.
He absolutely counts. He was in 4 episodes. I mean, and
Well,
Richard Hurd
he-
actually is a reoccurring
In
actor.
5
He also played a
episodes.
Klingon.
Well-
Yeah.
Well, Richard Hurd, I was willing to just cede the point because it's Richard Hurd, it's Admiral Paris. But I had already known because Ben had told me there was another more prominent Trek cameo that we missed.
Yes, and I was trying to give Vic shit so I could then come back and be like, aha.
I just segued you perfect, Ben. Just say it.
I know. So, Victor, in the 3rd episode, we'll get into this. We've got Denise Crosby.
No, Tasha Yar.
Tasha Yar.
She returns.
She's amazing in that episode.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's deeply upsetting she's only in 1. For all the
Yep.
characters who surprisingly come back and then come back again, I wanted more Denise Crosby. But we'll get to that when I do my recap.
Oh, awesome. So it looks like I ran the table on round 2. So we got the steampunk convention, we got Star Trek cameo, and we never saw Brisco kill anyone. So I specifically said we never see him kill anyone.
Okay, if that is your criteria, then you are okay.
Yeah. So that's 6 points for me in round 2. Is your fair?
I had Lord Bowler totally catches a dude.
Oh, yeah.
He does? We'll give him
yeah.
that point. We'll give you that one. Yeah.
Brisco speaks at least a third language at some point. We saw him speak horse.
Yes, he knows many
sure there's
languages. Was the second one Latin?
I want to say. He did speak Mandarin in the first episode. Or
Yeah.
at least he
I forget,
understood
was
it.
James Hong in the first episode?
Yes, he was.
Okay. James
We see
Hong
him
is in
speak French,
4
too,
episodes. James Hong
Oh,
keeps
wow.
coming back. It's great.
Oh, that guy's
Nice.
amazing.
I love James Hong.
And then my sunset prediction was Bly kills Brisco in the finale, but he wakes up and it was just a dream.
No, Bly
Does
is
not
dead
happen.
well before the finale.
So that puts me at 6 points going into episode 2.
Okay.
And then our final round, Comet saves the day, which did not happen.
Yes, it did. He opened the safe.
Well, this was for by the time I made this prediction, we'd already seen
It was
that,
just
so this
for
was
the
going,
finale.
This was going forward, yeah. Comet
Okay,
was going
yeah,
to save the day. Yeah. We got a new girl love interest, which a new girl did show up, but
Not a
they
love interest.
kept it, they kept it professional, so I'm conceding the points for that one. But we totally did get a death fake out that happened immediately as the episode started.
I think there's a death fake out every episode.
Is there really? That's awesome. So that brings my total to 14 points for the season.
Even if I run these 3 predictions, I can't catch you, Vic.
Well, let's see what they are, just so I can.
Finally! Drop in We Are the Champions from Queen, please.
I'll drop in We Are the Champions from the Mighty Ducks.
Sure.
Okay, so my 3 predictions were Brisco has/will get Bly before the end of the show.
Yep.
You've confirmed that for us. Someone uses a trident or some other weird-ass weapon.
Yes.
That's pretty broad, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, is it actually a trident or is
No.
it like
There are weird ass weapons.
really weird-ass melee weapons? Because we did not count the
Mini
The,
keg.
barrel.
No. There's an episode with James Hong where basically Brisco has to join a mashup of the triads and Yakuza because it's the 90s and we can't tell the difference between Japanese and Chinese people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was the thing.
So does
okay.
he use a katana?
There has to be.
I would not.
There has to be weird. I remember there being weird weapons in that one.
Okay. And then my +3 prediction: Socrates kills somebody.
No.
Really?
All right.
Socrates never kills anybody.
Oh, man. I was for sure there was going to be at least an episode somewhere where he just goes full berserker rage. We just see
That puts me. That puts me at 9, Vic. So while Ben is giving us his recap, settle on what we're watching next.
I'm just going to start off with a couple of things. I laughed so hard at the 3 episodes you guys ended up watching because for as episodic as Brisco County Jr. is, there are a series of running background characters who pop up again and again and again. And then they all come back for the finale.
Do they really? What?
That's
So
where all of the
Viva
extra
is
characters...
a character.
Viva is a character who shows up, and what is his deal? He's Elvis. That's it. That's the only joke.
No shit. We've seen Elvis before.
Yes, Viva is a character who is in 3 episodes. The other guy who's in there with him is Whip Morgan, who I feel like had on a haddest characters in 90s TV. Because Brisco County Jr. is already supposed to be the young, new version of his dad, Brisco County Sr. And then he's the guy who's the young pup Brisco Jr. takes under his wing.
Oh, wow. So they were already
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that.
That character Whip is in 6 episodes. He keeps coming back and being like, Brisco,
Damn.
teach me how to be you.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, and so it's the young I wanna be you character who just keeps showing back up. He's I'm good at everything, just like you, Brisco, but also you need to teach me. And I hate that character in 90s TV shows. It's the 19-year-old Wesley Crusher.
Right.
As I mentioned, John Bly has been dead for episodes by the time we hit the finale. By the time we hit, I believe, episode 20? Yeah, episode 20 is the episode where, at that point, they have captured every other member of the Bly gang. Brisco has thought Bly was dead, Bly comes back because of time travel, and they finally kill Bly.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And Brisco uses time travel to actually go back in time and save Lord Bowler from being murdered by Bly.
Oh, that's amazing. I can't wait to see that episode.
It's all great. But yeah, so the last... How many episodes are there?
21, I think.
No, it's got to be more than 21.
24.
Yeah, so the last 4 episodes, the Bly Gang is gone.
Oh, wow.
Actually, in more episodes than John Bly, one of my favorite characters is Pete.
Okay, yes. You have to explain Pete.
How is Pete alive?
I'm going to tell you, it is actually the best answer. Pete dies 3 times in the show, and each time comes back with a inexplicable reason why he's not actually dead, because they liked the actor so much.
Oh, so
that it becomes a joke that Pete is dead, right? Like, he got shot, he got blown up, Pete is dead, and Pete's back like, no, I dodged it, I'm still Pete. So it's not Zathras's. I'm sorry, Victor.
It's actually the same Pete.
It's the same Pete, but he cannot die.
So okay, so what? In the first episode where he got shot, he didn't really get shot.
He survived being shot. He dies 3
Somehow he
times,
survived.
and each time he comes back with a different inexplicable reason why he's still alive.
Were you killed? Sadly, yes. But I lived.
That's fucking ridiculous, and I love it. I love Pete. You know, that's funny because that's the same. That is the exact same reason we got Jeffrey Combs as Wayun coming back, because they loved him so much in Deep Space Nine that when Wayun was killed, that's the reason
they invented
the whole
cloning.
Vorta species. Yeah, are clones. It's because they wanted Jeffrey Combs back. So
Well, and the
reset the clock. Just mention Star Trek again.
the fun thing is that's not the only character. It's not with Death, but the character of Dixie Cousins.
Oh,
the
hypersexual burlesque girl.
Yeah. She is in 7 episodes as well, because originally she was just supposed to be Big Smith's girlfriend that they used to help catch Big Smith, who also comes back. He's not actually dead.
Yeah, that was assumed.
Actually, they do a fun twist with that, but I'll get to there in a second. Dixie Cousins, she becomes Briscoe's like on again, off again girlfriend, because they were like, she's so cool, and like they actually had really good chemistry. Forget John Aston's daughter's character; she never comes back again. The professor's daughter, never back.
Yeah.
Dixie Cousins keeps coming back because they're like, actually, I feel like there's something there. They can never quite connect because, well, she's a burlesque, nightclub dancer who's like kind of stealing stuff all the time, and he's, the self-righteous Brisco County Jr. But also they're just like, hey, when you're not doing crimes and you're not trying to catch me, do you really want to bang it out? Yes, please. And so it's a very fun. She can show up again every couple of episodes without it being like, hey, where's Dixie this episode? Or why is he, falling in love with Denise Crosby? Well, 1, because it's Denise Crosby. But 2, it's because last time they were like, oh, but Dixie, we can never be. And that's really fun. You guys were able to tell Big Smith probably coming back. But he comes back having been saved by the orb, and it's just like, I've got a second chance at life. I'm going to be a super good guy. Hey, Brisco, you caught me? You should probably take me to prison. I really deserve that. I did some bad stuff. Hey, you're with Dixie? She deserves to be happy. And it's like, he's so nice and happy it's off-putting. Oh! And you're like, no, Big Smith, I want you to be like, I'm going to throw Brisco through a window. And, like, they end up encountering some other bad guys. And it's like, no, Big Smith, you've got to help me. And he's like, no, I've put aside my violent ways. I'm actually a very nice man now. And I loved it. It's a great episode. Yeah, Dixie's in a lot of episodes. I'm curious, Big Smith, he's in a couple of episodes.
Which one was he?
MC Gainey. So he's the guy I was talking about, the guy he catches in the first episode.
Oh, okay.
Who comes back, Big Smith.
Yeah, the guy who gets orbed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one. Who
gets orbed.
Okay.
He gets orbed and comes back like super nice, and it's just a fun. I thought you were dead. I threw you out of a train. It was kind of on accident, but still. And he's like, yeah, no, but I'm nice now because I realized like life is precious. Aside from Pete and Big Smith, which villain do you guys think comes back the most?
So it would have to be a
We
villain
only
that we've
saw-
seen, right?
We only saw Terry Bradshaw,
Like a handful.
Ned Zed, and Big Smith.
What was it? Frenchie Bear Claw?
Not Frenchie Bear Claw. Todd the Caterer.
Who?
Todd the Caterer, the guy who was the caterer at the hotel, who they were like, we have to fire. He's actually a bad guy. In the second episode you guys watched.
Did we even see him on screen?
He was, and he's like the fourth bad guy in that episode. Todd the Caterer is actually in 3 episodes. He keeps coming back. But the one thing I want to make sure I absolutely overarching plot, make sure you guys get. By episode 20, Brisco has taken out the Bly Gang and is no longer working for the robber barons because they're all kind of evil. And ends up working for the U.S. government, which is why he ends up working for Grover Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
And then they save Grover Cleveland, but they can't get a raise. The reason they want a raise is because they work for the U.S. government. Because one day, Poole shows up and he's like, hey, actually, I quit the robber barons. Those guys are jagoffs. I work for the U.S. government now. And it's the 90s, and so both Brisco and Lord Bowler are like, womp womp. Who are the real jagoffs? We're in the 90s. We're at the end of history. But the best thing about Brisco County Jr., and you guys like missed all of it because you watched the pilot, an episode that's a weird quasi flashback, and then the finale, which was Jeff's kiss.
Who's Jeff?
Gregor, it is you.
Well, my name is Jeff.
Lord Bowler was initially supposed to be like a quasi antagonist. And so it was supposed to be like each episode, they're both going after the same man. And will our hero Brisco get him, or will Lord Bowler get him? And it's supposed to be like every episode, Brisco like catches the bad guy, pulls down Lord Bowler's pants, and be like, ha ha ha, I win. And then just like with Dixie, they're like, this is way more fun if they're actually friends.
Right.
And so they actually write it that over like the course of them like both trying to catch the same guys every week, they become like begrudging friends, and then towards the end they're just like straight up partners. And I liked that they were just like, you know what doesn't work? Having these guys just hate each other. You know what does work? Having Lord Bowler just be incredibly exasperated by his friend Brisco County Jr.
Yeah.
And one of the best bits of the series is we see that at one point Brisco visits Lord Bowler's house, I believe in San Francisco. And Brisco is like living off of Comet. The only things he has are in his saddlebags. You know, I'm like, well, it's just like I'm traveling the West. I never take money for the stuff I do. I'm not getting paid by the robber barons for catching these guys. I'm getting paid in avenging my father. Where Brisco is just like, no, all these guys have a huge bounty on their head. Like, I want the money. And he shows up in San Francisco and is like, has no place to go. And he's like, I'll look up Lord Bowler. And Lord Bowler is like living in a mansion with a butler and a smoking coat. And he's just like,
oh, nice.
What are you doing here, Brisco? He's like, I just need a place to stay. And he's like, well, you can't stay here in my palatial estate because I actually get paid for what I do. I'm really good at it, and I've made a ton of money. So in the finale, when he's just like, I'm going to buy a beach somewhere, we know, like, Lord Bowler could buy a beach.
He actually can buy a beach somewhere. Nice.
The Lord thing isn't just because he wears a bowler hat. It's because he's, like, wealthy.
Oh, he's actually a lord?
No, he's not. But it's like, it's as if he is because he's so wealthy.
Yeah.
Because he's really good at catching bad guys.
Oh, okay. So he actually does catch some bad guys in the series.
He does
then.
catch some bad guys during the series.
Now, does... speaking of estates, in the very first episode, I mentioned the Bly Gang had a hideout in a fucking cave.
Yes.
do we see more of the cave?
I think we see the cave
show.
2 or 3 times.
Because the cave has a kitchen, apparently, and
Yes.
a waitstaff.
Including Todd the caterer.
Oh, that's where Todd the caterer is from. The cave.
Right.
Todd the cave caterer.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through a few things with you guys. Jafar,
right.
when you were like, hey, there's going to be some steampunk bullshit. The second episode is Brisco fights a tank.
Nice.
Or wait, no, that's the third episode. I'm sorry. The third episode is Brisco fights a tank, and the tank is threatening a town inhabited only by women. And that is
Wow,
the-
they pulled that trope off already, huh?
and that is the town where Denise Crosby is the sheriff. And
Oh, I
she's
love
awesome and kick-ass, and they defeat the tank. And Briscoe's like, is this the coming thing? Nah, I feel like this is about 20 years off. And yes, that is the episode that introduces these 2 giant German bodybuilder women as blacksmiths who show up
Nice.
several times because the show likes being like, hey, they got muscles, but also they're really pretty. And like at one, like in this episode, they are just like the blacksmiths who make some stuff that allows Brisco to defeat the bad guys. But also John Aston's inventor character like falls in love with both of them. And they show up later, and it's just like, hey, being super muscly lady blacksmiths is now our stage show, and we do it with Dixie Cousins. We're the opening
Nice.
act. So that was fun. There's a episode where they break into jail in Mexico with chasing stolen guns. Next is Socrates' sister, which is where Socrates' sister, who is just also a lawyer and just like Socrates, only slightly better. And it is a courtroom episode because remember, Brisco is also a lawyer.
Okay, so let me jump in real quick. I had the only memory I had as a kid of ever seeing this Brisco County was an episode where they were in the courtroom and Brisco introduces the concept of fingerprints to prove
Yes.
his case. Okay, that's the only memory I have of Brisco County
Yeah, Brisco-
at all before we started doing this.
Brisco caught a guy, and then it turns out that Socrates' sister is now defending him, and the guy's about to get out of prison, and Brisco has to become the prosecutor to keep this guy. He knows who did it in jail. And Socrates' sister is just as smart as Socrates, but without all of the, like, anxiety. Meaning it's Socrates unleashed.
Right.
Our next episode is Riverboat. Hey, it's a riverboat casino. You can't have a Western show without a riverboat casino. But hey,
Should have thought of that. Yeah. That's a good one.
after being on the river, of course, we go to the high seas. Well, not really, but we find out a member of Bly's gang is a pirate, like a 17th century pirate called Blackbeard Lacut, and he's just being a pirate in the Old West.
Oh man, so we got the double whammy. We get ninjas in the first episode, and then we get pirates as well. Damn, the show has everything.
And then we get a episode actually where Arlie Ermy comes back and has more to do. And it's an episode where basically most of it happens in like an ethereal ghost world where well, so Brisco gets captured. This is called Senior Spirit. Brisco gets captured and he thinks he's gonna die, and Brisco Senior is just like, come on, you pansy ass, you ain't gonna die. Like, you really gonna let these chuckleheads do it to you? And being all Arlie Ermy sitting on a horse.
Yeah.
It's great. Such a great episode. Then we have Brisco for the Defense, which is another law episode, which might actually be the one with the fingerprinting. So this one, Brisco is a lawyer. I might be mixing up the two lawyer episodes. Let's see, the next one that really matters, like, he keeps running into some of the same characters. He keeps running into Whip. He keeps running into Dixie. Every episode has Lord Bowler and Socrates. And he keeps catching different members of the Bly gang. And one of the other groups of characters you guys completely missed is, I believe it is the Swill brothers. There's these three, like, hapless idiot brothers who all work for Bly. And one episode, they invent motorcycles. and Brisco has to fight a motorcycle gang.
Oh, nice. Are they actually motorcycles, or are they
Yes.
some kind of weird?
No, they're absolutely.
Tell me they're steam powered.
I don't believe so. I believe they're gas powered. There's an episode where Brisco has to spend the entire episode as Kansas, the character he pretended to be from the first
From
episode,
the very first episode, yeah.
to steal a cannon.
A cannon?
Yep.
Beautiful. No.
Oh, there's a really fun episode that is a bounty hunter convention that turns into a murder mystery. That is a seriously good episode. I loved that episode. There's an episode where they find the Fountain of Youth.
Of course they do.
Let's see. There is a episode where they have to guard 2 orphans who might be con men. And, it's just, hey, we stick our characters with kids who are precocious and annoying. Then they kill John Bly. And the episode Ned Zed
Yeah.
is actually after Bly is dead. He's like the last of the hang-ups.
Ned Zed was the last one? Okay. So, do we ever see Ned Zed more than once?
No.
Just once? Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I believe just the once, unless I don't think he's in an earlier episode. But then they start working for the U.S. government, and then we get our finale.
So, who framed them for, or how did they get framed for the assassination of the president?
There's 26 episodes. Yeah, so they work for the government for a little while.
Yeah, so if they're working for the government when they get framed and brought out and shot by firing squad, looked like what was supposed to be going on there.
Yeah, because the general was a bad guy, and
Okay.
they got in the way, and so the general's like, "You guys have betrayed the U.S. government. You are traitors to the Union and to the cause. Men, shoot him." And they are executed by the general for not taking part in the general's attempt to kill Grover Cleveland.
Okay.
Well, hello, it is I, your furry pal, Grover.
Are you talking about Grover from Sesame Street?
Yes, indeed, I am.
I love Grover.
There's a monster at the end of this podcast. I read there's a monster at the end of this book to Henry yesterday.
Oh, that's sweet. I found a free children's books online website recently because I read somewhere that dogs like it when you read to them, just because they hear the sound of your voice. So I started doing that to my dog Mocha. So.
Oh, okay. I thought it was because in Texas that's as far as the reading level gets.
That too. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
See, it's less funny when I do it at you. It's more funny when you do it to yourself. This felt like I was being a dick.
I'm just being real, man. No, dude, it's just being real. I'm not that smart. Seriously, I've probably learned more in doing this podcast with you guys.
Yeah, so the show ends with Brisco and Lord Bowler now friends. Mm-hmm. The orb thing has been solved. The Bly
Time
thing has
travel,
been
apparently.
solved. Time travel is an established part of the show. Pete being unkillable is part of the show.
So they went full on sci-fi, and with the Bly Gang and the time travel, and then it feels like for the last few episodes they went more traditional Western type stuff.
It vacillates back and forth.
Vacillates a word.
Yeah, it moves.
No, hey,
It
hold
shifts
on.
back and forth.
Is vacillate a word?
Yes.
That sounds like something with like Vaseline and
Well, Vaseline comes from the same
something you do.
same
Yeah.
root.
Oh, God.
Like it can move around.
It sounds like something you do when you do a skeet shooting. So.
All day.
I've never been shooting with Jafar.
Yeah,
No,
well, it's
now that you
an activity
mention
most men do alone.
I've been shooting. I've just never been shooting with Jafar.
All of your guns are literally in my basement.
That's true. Because unlike Texas, we actually have laws about the safe storage, and I need to buy a gun cabinet.
Probably the most un-Texan thing about me is I don't own a single gun. But you know,
But you're
I know,
a vet.
right? Yeah, dude, I figure the day comes that I need one. There'll be plenty of them laying on the ground.
All right.
I mean, big yikes.
No,
but
that's
not
Sam
wrong.
Elliott, okay?
Yeah.
I got your reference, okay? Sam Elliott, the other Arlie Ermy.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I would have loved to see them, like, be terse at each other.
Dude, the screen would explode. Well, I'm happy we got Arlie Ermy back, because, man, this felt like such a waste that he died in the very first episode. So.
Before the cold open, yeah. But
Yeah.
he comes back for a whole episode, and he's like, mail call!
Yeah. Oh, one other
Loves
thing
mail call.
I kept forgetting to mention about this show. I noticed that something that they do regularly in every episode, it seems like, is they do the Indiana Jones style segue whenever they're traveling.
The show is
where they
also
show
inspired by Indiana Jones.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, where they have like a map, and then they show the little red dot and the line on the map of where Brisco is going to. It's like, okay, dude, a horse does not travel that fast.
Comet does, hence the
Comet
name.
does, yeah, okay. I can believe it with Comet, but you know when he's traveling with others, dude, they can't they can't do Mach 3 like Comet can.
It's like the rank of fastest horses in fiction. It's Shadowfax and then Comet.
I don't know. Comet, I think, is smarter than Shadowfax.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the Lord of Horses. Put some respect on his fucking name.
Yeah, well,
You shall not
in America,
fax.
we overthrew the monarchy. There's no lords here. There's the president of horses, Comet.
Yeah, I didn't vote for Shadowfax.
No. I think that's what Hidalgo taught us.
Okay, well, we're never going to do a better joke than President of Horses, so...
You don't like my Hidalgo reference? All right, so that is Brisco County Jr. It is a fun, it is an episodic western that also has some pretty real serialization, and also
It is
more sci-fi than you expect.
It is a tragedy that it didn't get picked up for another season. That's just sad. I was reading
But I
somewhere
also
that it got
completely understand why it didn't.
Well, from what I was reading, he got stuck in the Friday Night Death slot.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, by Fox.
Yeah.
It was Fox, wasn't it?
I
Yeah,
believe
Fox
so.
always destroys the good shows. So,
But it was
yeah,
also,
I feel like if it,
hey, we ordered this fun, lighthearted Western. Why is there all this sci-fi junk in it? And also, it's the 90s. We only do episodic TV. Why
Right.
do we have this, wonderful budding friendship between our two main characters? Why does this villain's girlfriend keep showing back up? Why is Pete never dead?
the show, it was before its time.
It
Or
absolutely
It was ahead of its time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had
Well,
this
I'm gonna-
show
Alright.
come out 10 years later, I firmly believe it would have, at least gotten 5 seasons.
I almost want to do a recasting for it, but I don't feel like no. Bruce Campbell and Shonuff, they're unique. I don't think
Well, I can
anyone
tell
could
you then,
possibly
my-
fill those shoes.
My fan casting is Brisco is played by Bruce Campbell. Lord Bowler's played by Julius Curry. And then our other main character, Socrates Poole, is played by Tig Notaro.
Of course.
Checks out.
Yeah.
That was
I'm gonna drop
actually
the link.
exactly what I expected.
But Jafar, I had never realized that was Jim Harbaugh in the finale.
Yeah.
Which one?
One of the football players is the now former coach of the U of M football team, led the team to a undefeated national championship season before immediately resigning, going to the NFL as the team gets sanctioned because they were doing a bunch of play stealing.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
What's play stealing?
They were
figuring out what play your opponent's going to do.
That's illegal? I mean, I thought that was the whole point of
Depending
the
on
game.
how you do
They're-
it.
Yeah.
Dude, what
It's
is-
like if you look at their formation and adjust, that's okay. But if you are tapping their comms or whatever and figuring out what play they're going to do before they get on the field, that's a problem.
Oh, that dude! I didn't know that was a thing, man. So what, they have like spies spying on the
one
hacking the communications of the other team. Is that what's going on?
There's a whole bunch of stuff coming from some not particularly trustworthy sources about this. Mainly, everything that I've read about this has come from people either directly aligned with or are known big supporters of Michigan's biggest rival, Ohio State. So there's definitely some bitter going on there because Michigan has beat Ohio, or when was the last time Ohio beat Michigan was 1,700 days or something ago. So it's been a bit of a dry spell for them.
I love that you measure it in days.
I have some friends who are real U of M football diehards in the group chat.
And Vic, when you've had that big of a dry spell, you start counting in days.
That is true.
Anyways, I don't know enough about what's going on to speak about it definitively, so I won't.
Yeah, but he pulled a Pete Carroll.
Nothing is settled as far as I'm aware.
I know they got a four-game suspension where their head coach can't be on the field. But Jim Harbaugh was also like, too bad, I've gone to the NFL. No punishment for me, which is the same thing Pete Carroll when he got caught at cheating at USC for a bunch of years.
Yeah.
But I digress. So I loved your guys' commentary.
Yep.
Yeah. Then that's Brisco
we did
County.
it. We covered Brisco County in record time.
At Sheriff Viva.
Which one was
why
he?
Is Elvis
Viva
here?
was a sheriff?
Elvis.
Yes.
Oh, he did have a sheriff's badge on. I figured that was just flair, just because he's Elvis.
They go to a town where Viva is the sheriff, and that is just part of it. Like, we're chasing a member of Bly's gang, and also Elvis is here. And they thought that was funny enough that they're like, this guy comes back for the 2-part finale.
That's hilarious. Did they ever say why he was in jail?
Well,
he got arrested by the general's men. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, so he was framed too. Okay.
Yeah, they were all. So the first part of the 2-part finale, they find out that the general is bad. And it's like, we need to assemble a team. Da 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 da. Dun dun da dun da 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 dun. And so they start their own Brisco 7.
Nice.
That was the Magnificent 7 theme song.
Okay.
And it's fun because, like, okay, yeah, they're going to bring in Whip, the guy that Brisco has been mentoring. Yeah, they bring in Viva, the Elvis impersonator. Also, Pete, the guy you killed in the first episode but will not die. You know what, Pete, you're going to come and help us. And he's like, all right.
Nice. Yeah, I love Pete. He's great.
He doesn't really fight it. He's like, why would I help you? It's like, because. Okay.
Awesome. Well, that's our show. So
yeah, what's next, Vic?
All right, now I have an idea here that I have been thinking about this for a long time since 2 seasons ago of last time on. And since this is your show, you can veto it if you want because I'm the new guy. But I have hear me out. Here's my proposal. As much as I love Viper,
we're not watching every episode of a show.
You folks at home missed my sad Viper fangs just
sad
fall
Viper
out of
fangs.
frame.
As much as I really want to watch Viper, I want to do what's best for the podcast. Okay?
Okay.
Because Viper, I really want to watch it, but it's not accessible to our audience, really.
So the Red
it's not
Diaries.
streaming. Yeah, it's not streaming
Is Brisco
anywhere.
County Jr. streaming anywhere?
Well, no, but we did that as a...
It was on IMDb
special
TV.
thing. Yeah. So... here's what we're doing. I know a lot of fans requested this. We have a lot of fans on DMTV who love this show, and they want to see its resurgence. So, next season, we are going into The Expanse! Now, I've already seen The Expanse many times, so here's my proposal. And like I said, since this is your show, feel free to veto it. I will be sitting out. I will not be in the competition this next season, since I've already seen it. And I will sit back, and let you guys watch it and observe, and I will be the judge at the end of the season for who gets what right in the predictions. And since I've already seen the show many times, when you guys throw out a, well, what hop on here, or a let's get weird with it, I may or may not be telling the truth. I might sprinkle in some truth with a little bit of bullshit with my what hop on here, or let's get weird with it, and you can do with that as you please. You could think, is Vic bullshitting us, or is this actually supporting one of my predictions?
Okay, so I'm good to watch The Expanse.
Say what?
I'm good to watch The Expanse.
All right.
I just don't know if we want to do it with you on every episode, or if we want to bring you in at the end like we did with Ben.
We could do that. What I was thinking, what we could do is when you guys make your predictions, I could just step away. I could take my headphones off, and you make your predictions, and then when I do the edit, I'll see them, and I could tally up the scores at the next episode. You know what I'm saying?
I would rather you be here. Personally.
Oh, thank you, Ben.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying when it's time to make predictions, I'll just take my headphones off. I'll go use the bathroom, and then you guys wave at me when you're done. So
Drink
that way,
smoothie.
so that way I don't give away anything when you guys make your predictions, like with my facial expressions or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that sounds like a plan.
But you guys are gonna love The Expanse. It is honestly, like, for the longest time, Deep Space Nine was my favorite sci-fi show ever. Then came Battlestar Galactica, and that unseated it. That unseated Deep Space Nine. And then The Expanse came along, and it currently
DS9
holds
has
the
a
number
good
one.
finale.
I know it does. I know.
That was just
no
a jab
spoilers
at
for
BSG.
Battlestar. No spoilers for Battlestar Galactica. Laura hasn't seen it. I know she's listening to this episode.
Oh, yeah. Well, you guys will get to it.
We'll get to it.
Well,
It's fine.
Vic, I'm sad you didn't pick the Sentinel. That was. I had that ready to go in case you guys like. And the joke is actually Ben picks. What do you got, motherfucker? Like, you ready? I was like, I am ready. That is how I roll.
The Sentinel. Wasn't that a Tom Berenger movie?
No, that is Sniper.
Okay. That's right.
No. The Expanse is in
the
line.
Sentinel. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the Sentinel.
Yeah, hang on. That sounds really... Michael Douglas and Kiefer Sutherland. What the shit?
No, this is the Richard
that's a
Burgi
movie.
TV show, where a guy gets trapped in the jungles of Peru and becomes a sentinel, and any of his any of his senses can become heightened.
That's right. That's the guy with the huge forehead. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys are going to love The Expanse. It is absolutely amazing. Yeah, feel free to go watch the first episode on Amazon Prime at any time. It's up there. It's streaming. And this is not a spoiler for the show at all, but you guys may or may not be aware that after the second or third season, the Sci-Fi Channel, it was originally on Sci-Fi Channel, they dropped it, and fans outraged, and we all got together, and Amazon Prime picked it up and saved the show. It was one of the greatest achievements in sci-fi nerd history, I think. So, yeah.
Well, that was all Bezos. Because he had
the
been
only good
a
thing
huge
Bezos has
fan
ever done. Yeah.
of both the books and the show. And when the show started, he had made some comments about it being like if Sci-Fi wasn't going to do it, Amazon would, and stuff. So when Sci-Fi dropped it, I thought it was. I remember having conversations with friends about it,
awesome.
about not being terribly surprised that he had thrown a bunch of money at it.
Yeah. So Bezos,
I've
you
always
did
had a
at least
dream
one
of,
good
like,
thing in
if
your life.
I accidentally somehow got $100 billion, never have to care about anything money. Like I can put $1 billion away, never have to worry about anything, and can just play with the rest. I would start my own television network and keep shows that should die alive. And so you're just like, why are we watching season 27 of Joey?
Yeah, we'll be back with The Expanse.
So with all that being said, I guess it's just time to say thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Ripe, for letting us use Goon Squad as our theme music. We appreciate the hell out of it. They're currently touring. Go check them out, please. They're fucking fantastic.
Awesome. And thank you to you, the listener, for coming back and supporting us. You're the reason we do all this. And if you like our show, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. It really helps out the show. And if you do, we will give you a shout out here on the show and read your review. And yeah, Yeah, and if you don't like our show, just keep that shit to yourself.
And feel free to join us over on Facebook at Last Time On. And we will see you next time on Last Time On.
Don't you worry, Ghost Squad gonna show you how. Ghost Squad show you how. Oh, oh, hey, hey, hey. Oh, the Ghost Squad gonna show you. Oh, hey, hey, hey. Oh, the Ghost Squad gonna show you how.
Yeah. Oh, God.
You all right there?
Smoothie no good?
Ah, my smoothie, yeah.
Did you forget to clean the straw?
No, this is a fresh straw.
Which is its own
That's your
problem.
smoothie glass.
Yeah.
Get reusable straws, Victor.
I do have reusable straws. It's just that this one just happened to be here from Jack in a Box. No, but it's banana, pineapple, orange, and almond milk.
Well, that's the problem.
Okay.
No matter what else you put into it, as soon as you put banana into a smoothie, it becomes a banana smoothie.
I got to pause for a second. I just realized why this smoothie tastes funny. It's because I had some frozen bananas in the freezer that I was going to use to blend up for the smoothie, but they were sitting right next to a bag of frozen baby corn, and I grabbed the wrong fucking bag. So excuse me, I have to go throw up real quick. I'll be right back.
So, everybody, this is what a Texas diet gets you. The mere imbibing of a vegetable makes you want to vomit. It's not like people don't just drink carrot juice.